Oyez! Oyez! Welcome, loyal subjects and fans of Final Fantasy Randomizer and Speed Gaming. Tonight is day 4, the grand finale of the Duckling Derby. We have Sir Linkalot and DVS tied at 90 points. In the lead right now with Psytown in third at 82, but it's still anybody's game with 40 points up for grabs tonight to the first place finisher. I'm the former Duckling Supreme, Gouda632. I'm joined on tracking by Reese Wolf, and all Duckling Supreme, the man, the myth, the legend, Groggy Dog.
Hi. Thank you so much for that intro. I don't know how to follow that. I appreciate it so much. Welcome, everybody. We are so excited to be bringing you the... We have some real steak and potatoes flags for you tonight. Nothing gimmicky, nothing too fancy. We've got 2 forced right off the top. You might see that everybody is sporting 1 thief and 1 white mage. We've seen a few parties as well. We're going to see, it looks like thief rainbow, perhaps fighter thief white black, fighter thief white red, maybe. Looks like a lot of fighter rainbows. So it'll be interesting to see how these participants manage that party in this flag set. We're going to have a few standard things, shuffled magic levels, of course, a vanilla war mech, shuffled spike tiles, a free bridge is the only thing they're going to start off with, 2 loose items, a whole host of incentivized locations like the Ice Cave, Ordeals, Titan's Trove, Earth Cave, Volcano, and Canaria locked. Defense, Power Gauntlet, and the Ribbon are going to be on the table for them as well, giving them some options in terms of good endgame items. It's going to be open progression, no mixed entrances, no mixed towns, nothing like that. Just a 200% max boss, lowest at 50%, 2.0 EXP, and a potentially very difficult 0.8 dungeon overworld encounter rate and a 1.0 dungeon encounter rate. We're going to see a lot of encounters tonight, but I think that we have before us a really, really good flag set to showcase what these racers are going to do with some potentially very difficult things. So I'm excited to see what happens.
I am too, Groggy. Thank you so much for the flags, and these runners are just... Looks like we got a couple of people still trying to figure out like DVS is trying to figure out what he wants to do, but yeah, a lot of Thief, Rainbow. We do have Psytown with the Fighter, White-Black. I think the biggest issue with that is going to be a lack of black magic compared to everybody else. But yeah, that thief lead can be really, really dicey if these fiends tend to roll up.
Yeah, absolutely. One thing that I've kind of noticed in running these seeds on my own really is the punishing aspect of those random encounters. I think getting a thief forced is almost the best case scenario here, just because you get a chance to run. And here we go. We're going to see some party shuffles to get people in the right order. We're going to take a look at white magic, a very generous heal 3 and life 2 for that white mage, and still going to be learnable by the red wizard later down the line. In terms of black magic, we're going to get Bane, Stop, Quake, and Fire 2. So a couple options to deal with Garland here. Nothing too fancy, but the white magic is more than going to make up for that at level 1.
Yeah, I agree, and that white mage is likely going to stay up for a significant amount of time with that life too, unless they can find an early airship and an early tail to try and get that red wizard going out the gate.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, we are also getting a pretty generous chain armor for not too much. You can throw that on the red mage. The other thing you're going to see is that fairly low-cost gold bracelet for about 20,000. Now, houses are quite expensive at 4,200. Not going to see too many of those in the early game, but that fairly cheap gold bracelet might come into play sooner rather than later, especially with, in a lot of parties, 3 mages.
Yeah, you see Psytown just booking it directly for Temple of Fiends right out the gate, where DVS is trying to get a little bit of levels before he runs into Garland.
Yeah, that's an interesting play. He might be saving up money for something, is what I'm wondering. Yeah, it looks like he's going to go try and buy a couple save items, maybe. Generally, Garland very few scenarios are going to present themselves in which you can't go ahead and kill him with the black magic or the items that you get in Canaria. Certainly in this case, Fire 2 and Bane both going to handily take care of Garland with even a little bit of luck.
Yeah, and don't forget about Cake. If anybody took Cake, Cake is a decent level 1 spell to try and get rid of these early enemies. And you see Psytown up there using some Cake. Ineffective to start with, unfortunately, but he's going to try giving Garland some Cake a second time. Ooh, second time ineffective. That is rough.
Yeah, and there's the benefit of having that save item right before you go in. If it doesn't work with something like this, you take it. But White Desitel already through. He's going to get the ship in the canoe. So we have a ton of... This game is wide open as soon as they find the canal. Canal is not gifted to them for free like it is in some of the other seeds. They're going to have to find that before they make their way out of the Inner Sea, or potentially they're going to have to go to Crescent Lake even. Now that we have the canoe, all of the Inner Sea is open to them. This is open progression. They can walk, if they need to, all the way from Canaria to Elfland. They don't need to because they have this ship, but they've got some options in terms of what they want to do next, and that is quite a large number of options presented to them very quickly. Sometimes it's a little bit easier when you're doing a race if you know, like, okay, here are my options. I don't have a ship, but I have the bridge. Okay, let's go to Provoca. I still think Provoca is absolutely the right play. I would be shocked if anyone doesn't go there next. You get the cheap level 2 magic, you get some items, you get the incentivized item from Picky, so I think still the very easy play, and then we'll kind of see what happens after that.
Yeah, and these types of flags without any town shuffle and without any entrance shuffle at all, it's going to be most likely a Provoca and then an Elfland check to try and make sure that you get all of those magic spells that you need for the first 4 levels, since they are basically given to you for free.
Yeah, Cure 4 and Wall over there at the White Magic shop, as we're seeing from Dwight. Black Magic is going to give us Lock 2 and Ice 2. So the Black Mages and the Red Mages not actually looking awesome at this moment. Maybe we'll get a nuke level 3. That White Mage is looking extremely useful, though. I think what I'm really going to be interested to see here in the next few minutes is, does anyone go for a potentially risky Marsh gamble? It's going to depend what we get from Bicky here. If we get the Canal, it's sort of a non-issue. I don't think anyone's going to go to Marsh. But if Bicky gives us something... Okay, there it is on DBS's screen. It's the Canal. I think we're going to easily bypass over. And the Oxyale for sale for just about 8,800 there in Provoca. That's the kind of item you probably come back for. You don't need it right away. There are more important things to spend your money on right now. But there's a lot of information that we already have and a lot of places that we can go with the ship and the canoe and the canal.
Yeah, it opens up basically the entire world except for anything that's airship locked. So, I mean, you've got Ordeals... you've got Waterfall, and if you can pick up that Oxyale, you can go take out Kraken right away, too, with, I mean, Bane's not the best spell, but it could get the job done.
Yeah, absolutely. With open progression, we do gain a couple very important docks, one below Onrak, one below the Sky Temple, and one below the airship desert, the Rukon Desert. So... even just this morning, I was running a seed that theoretically could have been completed floaterless. For our runner's sake, I'm hoping they find the floater early and we get a bit of a jet seed. But, you know, they got to be prepared with a potentially fairly high encounter rate to do a lot of ship travel in this kind of flag set. Now, we're not going to see the canal play early, I don't think, but I like what Dwight's doing. There's a pretty easy check right here. He doesn't have the crystal that Matoya needs to give him the incentivized item. He is going to check those 3 chests just in case he gets something good. And sure enough, there's a katana hidden away in there. That is exactly what we would like to have for our thief. That is not usable just yet, but good information to have. It's one less thing you have to hunt down later on. It makes a potential, you know, Topher run with the ninja a lot more viable.
And it would be really interesting to see. I don't think he's going to sell it, but that is always an option because Katana usually sells for a ton of money. Oh, and maybe he is going to sell it.
He is going to sell it, yeah.
Wow. Oh, but it's not worth nearly enough.
Yeah, interesting. Base, I think that ends up netting you, what, like 32,000 gold?
Something along those lines. I think it's max price. But yeah. That's something that a lot of runners tend to do because it's a vendor sword. When you don't take a thief, it turns into a ninja. Because ninja is the only class that can equip that katana. And We see Dwight taking out the bridge boss right away, just in case he's got to go across later.
Well done. Good time for the bridge boss. Yeah, it's interesting that he's giving his hand that early in terms of, like, the thief may just be a non-entity for him. You know, it may just be run chance at this point. Flame shield from the 2 easy checks in the dwarf cave. Not a bad thing to see at all. And Dwight is the first person out.
That's 2 more basically free chests. So I like what Dwight's been doing here. He's been taking as many free chests as he possibly can to see if he can maybe snipe one of those loose items or find out if he can get some really good either gear or selling items.
Yeah. No slab yet, but he is going to go up here in Melman, go check out the defensive item shop, save, and if I had to guess... Okay, I was wondering if he was going to make a quick pit stop to the first floor of Earth Cave to scope out the chests and any potential spike tiles. But it looks like he's going to bypass that in favor of heading straight to Crescent Lake for another incentivized item.
Oh yeah, we see Foolish Feline also doing the Matoya check and grabbing their katana.
Yeah, alright, and then on Scytown, we just learned some pretty important information. Quad X is the only really useful black magic spell that we have in Elfland at level 3, but Fade is at a very learnable red mage spot in level 3, plus fast. So we've gotten a few options. Pretty much the only good sweeper, like the really good sweeper that we've seen in the first 4 levels of Magic is that white Magic Fade. And luckily, again, it is red mage learnable, so anyone who brought one of those is going to be feeling real happy.
I mean, Fire 2 and Fire 2 and Ice 2 can get you a long way, but not nearly as far as you want it to. It's a lot better when you can use it with the Black Shirt or, the Mage Stick, because then it's free. But if in a pinch, they can get the job done.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, I did misspeak. There is Lock there at level 3 Black Magic. That is a very useful spell. It's gonna help you cut through very defensive, tanky enemies. Lock is the single target version. Lock 2 is going to be the multi-target version, and it's nice to have for those as well, especially at 200% when you get to Kraken 2, Tiamat 2, even Chaos. Just in case you don't have something like the Mass Immune or the Vorpal to punch those crits through, you're going to have to get that damage in some way. Lock and Lock 2 are great ways to do it.
Luckily, the evasion cap hits at about 240% with Chaos, so with 200% you can still get pretty evasive Chaos, but thankfully we're not putting these ducks through any super torture trying to have a max evade Chaos.
Yeah, exactly. And it's interesting too, I think while we're letting everyone kind of do some exploration, technically all of these runners are in fact ducks, but I think what we've seen over last night and last weekend's 2 races is that this is an extremely competent duck class. This duck class, many of them went through the spring tournament. That is 6 weeks or more of some really intense high-level play. A number of these ducks also heavily involved with the Iron Gall Heavy Metal Championship. Some wicked flag sets with great competition.
And I think having the Iron Goal has helped these ducks out quite a bit, because I know Dwight has really taken to some just nasty, crazy flag sets.
Yeah, absolutely, and he's booking it right now. Like it shows. It's it's like the weight training. You take the weights off, and suddenly you're flying. I think the ducks we're seeing at the top right now, it's not surprising. We've got a few interesting names there. Like Scytown, I think, has kind of come up, surprised me a lot. Foolish Feline, especially, didn't see much of their name beforehand. But again, astoundingly high level of competition from what is supposed to be a beginner class, and genuinely all of these ducks should be very proud of the effort they've put in and the races that they're running, because these are not easy flags.
Oh, absolutely, and we've had like more than 20 ducks that have joined in on this Duckling Derby, and they've definitely surprised me, because this game there's a lot to learn, but these ducks have just come in and they have absolutely just taken Final Fantasy Randomizer by storm. So if anybody's out there and watching this and afraid to get into the rando, most of these runners are decently brand new, and they're crushing it.
Yeah, our restreamer Trenton, who is a staple of Final Fantasy randos and speedruns, telling us that Scytown is a veteran of the Z1 rando. It's always really interesting to me to see how skills from different randomizers carryover. I think there are some that have more direct equivalencies when you get to different games, and some that it's just like a totally different brain state that you've got to be in. I think even between like FF4 Free Enterprise and this one, they feel like very different games. At least when I've tried FF4 Free Enterprise, just because of the emphasis on random encounters. But I think there is still very much a basic mindset that you can learn and hone in terms of, okay, how do I identify what information is important and how do I act on that as efficiently as possible? And if Sidetown's better than Z1 Rando, clearly, that experience doing work for him here.
And we have DVS doing what you were talking about earlier, Groggy, which you and I both thought Dwight was going to do, and that's do the cheeky check of the spike tiles here on Earth 1, as well as the 4 chests that you're going to be able to get there.
Yeah, nothing doing so far. A pack of wolves is not going to be the experience you want to see in terms of a grind for sure, so probably feeling a little disappointed in that. Let's see what we've got in the Hall of Giants. We're going to have a couple alternating spike tiles here. Ooh, unrunnable manticores is not what you want to see. Even if there's something really juicy on the other side of this without a higher level party, okay, they're going down pretty quick.
I absolutely love manticores as a grind. Usually they don't roll too bad unless they start rolling spells and skills, then they can get kind of nasty. But they give a decent amount of experience, and as you can see, DVS is already now level 8. And he's going to take this Manticore grind for a little while. I'd assume probably up to the low teens.
Yeah, I think that's a good call.
Just to try and get his party a little bit more survivability, especially since he's running that Thief Rainbow. I mean, you want to get as many hit points on that Thief as you possibly can, especially when he's in the lead.
Yeah, definitely. Now, I can't remember. Do our runners have exit on their White Mage? Did I miss that?
I'm not sure.
I don't think so. I think I might be confusing this with another run. But Earth Cave is incentivized. You can get down there. You don't need the rod. Exit was level 6. Thank you. Okay, I did see it. So if they have it, they're not going to have charges just yet. Then I definitely don't think Earth Cave is probably the play right now. You can get down to the incentivized chest behind the Vampire and Earth Cave right now, but if you don't have exit, or you don't have a sufficient number of warp charges, you gotta walk that all the way back out, and that is not fun. In Viz 2 there, and Melmond as well, I didn't see that earlier. There's Warp, Speak of the Devil, and Ice 3, probably their first really solid sweeper. Again, White Magic has been off the board really good, but not seeing a lot else so far. Ribbon there from the Adamant turn-in that we got in Crescent Lake. Obviously, you don't want that for the end game, not hugely helpful at this moment.
Sidetown just turned in the Adamant, and we have the heaviest ribbon that anybody's ever going to have.
Yeah, for sure.
Smithy McBeardface just said, alright, I'm gonna give you a cute hat. And I missed what DVS found. He did go the other way to see what the other spike tile was, and I missed it.
Yeah, I was looking at Sidetown's screen, I missed it too. Whatever it was, he didn't like it as much as he liked the Manticore fight. We're still here.
And with that life too, that helps out quite a bit as well. Because if anybody goes down, now you're funneling some experience onto your other characters. Like, that's what he just did with the Black Mage. I'm 100% by accident, can guarantee it, but the Black Mage went down, and then everybody else got a little bit more experience.
Yeah, absolutely. Fox Rezard, sorry for getting that wrong. Cobra and Scorpion, yeah, wouldn't want to stick around for that either. Sidetown definitely making good use of that fade so far, using it as a sweeper on the open sea. Luckily, we haven't seen anything that is too nasty. Definitely, anytime you have a seed where you have a lot of those overworld dungeon encounters, all it takes is one dumb encounter to really screw you over. You know, I think I ran a flag set earlier today, and they had zombies with thunder, and like, man, you run into a pack of those, that is all you need to just absolutely ruin a run.
And we have spiders that do have spells, so if he doesn't take if DVS doesn't take out these spiders really quickly and they can get to their second spell, we don't know what it is. I know they've got slow to start with, but next thing you know, they could be throwing out Fire 2, they could be throwing out Nuke, and spiders are an early game enemy that you don't see a whole lot. Luckily, it's not the arachnids. If you get arachnids with something nasty, that's literally the worst thing. One of the worst things you can have in this game. Same with mummies or the zombie packs, zombie guites.
Yeah. Alright, I see Foolish Feline down there, taking a few encounters just outside of Crescent Lake. I actually really like that play. It's not an elegant solution at all times, but sometimes you just need a little bit more money, sometimes you just need a little bit more experience, and there are some pretty decent low-level fights right around the Crescent Lake area to take, so I think that is a sign of someone who knows, like, okay, I have identified my goal for right now, and I know exactly what the fastest way to achieve that in the moment is. Again, not elegant, not the best, but it's pretty good.
And the great thing about the Crescent Lake area is that there are 4 different encounter zones. There's just a big box there where everything meets. So you can get 4 different first encounters depending on which way you go out of Crescent Lake.
Yeah, I think it's probably beyond most ducks at this point, but I think using that knowledge combined with good RNG or encounter manipulation, you can sometimes get some really good runs and some good enemies, especially if you can find those centipedes. I don't think we're in that position with this encounter table, but it's just like one of those things. Like, hey, keep in the memory bank. Maybe this is something I can pull off.
I must have missed it, but I just saw DVS had. I thought it said level 8 again. Because I know he left and he was level 11, level 12, something like that, getting out of this Manticore grind, and he's back in there grinding right now.
Interesting. I wonder if he perhaps forgot to save on the way out.
Oh, he reset from the spider fight.
Yeah.
That's rough.
I thought I saw him save. That's just like, it's the one you never expect, right? Oh, he was out of saves. Okay. Yeah, it's the encounters you never expect that are the ones that send you back. That's a tough one, DVS.
Yeah, and it's really rough because I don't think he's gone to Elfland yet. And when you go over to Melmond, and next thing you know, Melmond has no item shop there, so you're not going to get any save items, and the only thing that you have is the inn. And you got to try and walk your way back to Melmond. That's rough because you've got shadows, you've got spiders and arachnids, you've got zombies, you've got tigers, which tend to roll 2 to 3 hits and just be nasty.
Mm-hmm. Foolish Feline giving us a preview of some of the stuff we're going to find in Volcano. Already an Ice Sword and an Aegis Shield. Ice Sword, not the ideal endgame item, probably like the bare minimum viable sword for Topher, although you don't want to do that. But the Aegis Shield, great for other runners, not so much for Foolish Feline, who's not going to be able to equip that.
And the White Mage hit that Ogre for 1 damage to knock him down. That's always a feels-good moment.
Some decent cash there, though. It looks like I will be curious. I haven't seen Foolish Feline's levels. I'm going to be curious to see how much he wants to commit to this Volcano expedition right now.
I thought it was around level 8 or 9, maybe level 10 now.
That is not necessarily the level I would be comfortable doing this with. You got plenty of heals that really helps. You just sort of have to find ways to mitigate what you're doing with the lava, because you're probably going to want to walk in the lava and mitigate encounters. But yeah, the low level would make me nervous there.
Yeah, low level Volcano can
poison Argoyles, and that's exactly the kind of thing. You're gonna see those Argoyles in a few different places, and that's just a thing you have to deal with now.
Yep, especially like if you cannot figure your way through Ordeals, that's when it gets really, really rough, because Ordeals has those Argoyles in massive packs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's bad news for that. I think if you have that information, you start to think, maybe I'll save Ordeals for later and do Ice first.
Yeah, that's not something that you generally hear runners say, because a lot of times, like last year during the spring tournament, one of our great vets, Edgeworth, was notorious for doing Ordeals at like level 4.
Yeah, it is. I think you always surprise yourself a little bit with unless it is a particularly bad ordeal, you can usually get away with it. It may take a wipe and a little bit of knowledge, but it is reasonably safe and gives you some quick chests and 2 spike tiles to check. That's a lot of good stuff to get out of that. And if you only have the ship, it's really not that bad to get there because you can cheat a little bit, check that river inlet, go in through there. You don't have to walk the whole way like you do when you park the airship, and then you just sail due west and go get your waterfall pickup and perhaps go check out the water temple as well. I do like that play a lot, but again, sometimes you just get the information like, okay, this is scarier than I thought it was going to be.
Right, and you've got one of the great things inside of Ordeals is zombies, and when you've got Fire 2 and maybe a Harm spell and a Fade, those zombies tend to go down pretty quickly, and that's a lot of XP.
Yeah, I think one of the things that does also put our runners potentially in favor of going to ice is you've got Warp. Warp is going to be level 5, exit level 6. It won't take too long to get those levels up to where you at least have 1 charge of that. 'Cause all you need of that is 1 charge to make Ice Cave just a lot friendlier. If you don't know, if you're watching and haven't seen the randomizer before, in the vanilla game, you couldn't pull this off because of where Warp was. But in this game, if you we'll tell you what, we'll explain it when we get there. But just know for now, the Warp will save you time. It's a fun little trick if you've never seen it before.
Yeah,
probably helps to have a visual aid for that one.
Warp and Exit are spells that generally, well, in the vanilla game, you're not going to get until after you're through the Ice Cave because you need a class change. So having those in this just makes for a lot of really cheeky things. Like if you watch the PSP version of this game, you'll see them try to get an emergency exit to try and get out of Earth Cave. Well, if you've got Exit, you can now do that without having to. We don't have an emergency exit in this game, so.
I see Reese Wolf saying in chat, 1 charge warp, 1 charge exit, all you need. I'd posit all you need is 1 charge warp. We still have 2 loose. We don't know where any of the loose are at this point. Decent chance one of them shows up in Ice Cave. That's definitely not out of the question. So you're gonna warp up, get those chests, and then go check the other chests anyways, and then just exit on your way out. So I think 1 warp is sort of the minimum viable level of comfort that I have going to Ice Cave.
One spell of Exit would be alright too, because you're only taking an extra 1 step, 3 steps to end a spike tile. Obviously, it depends what that spike tile is.
Well, you'd have the additional spike tile on your first entrance through when you go to the chest on the right-hand side of that room.
That's true
but
as well.
I think either one is fine. You just want 1.
Yeah. Otherwise, it gets to be pretty dicey, especially if you have to do the double loop in Ice Cave. That's something nobody wants to do.
Yeah. All it takes is 1 of those spike tiles to be particularly nasty to make that a real nightmare. And there are a handful of spike tiles you're gonna have to hit. So. Yeah, so we now have multiple runners in Volcano. I'm genuinely curious to see if anyone is going to decide to commit to this.
I'm kind of surprised that we haven't seen anybody go to the Northern Continent yet and check out Ordeals and Waterfall, which, if you can get... Like, DVS knows how to get enough levels to get a charge of Exit, and 1 charge of Exit is good for Ordeals, 1 charge of Exit is good for Waterfall, and he'd have level 15... off those manticores if he wants it. So I mean, those are 2 key items that he'll get, plus a bunch of chests. I'm genuinely surprised that we have a lot of runners here in Volcano, because this can be a pretty dangerous place.
Yeah,
it's really good for chest density.
Right. Yeah, I think this is the fact that we have almost in lockstep a number of these runners making this decision. Yeah, this is we had a whole open world as soon as we got the canal. I think what they're playing is, okay, I know that I need 2 loose. I know that this is nearby and might give me some good armor or something. So I don't think the poke around Volcano and then leave play is by any means a bad one.
Yeah,
I would hate to see people follow in my footsteps from Thursday night and try and make this a complete dive. It's a fun risk, but it is a very risky risk.
Right, as I hate double dipping anywhere, so if I'm going to go into Volcano, I'm going to go down, I'm going to get the incentive item, and I'm going to try and kill carry. And with the resources they currently have and the levels they have, I don't see that happening right now.
Yeah.
And we have Scytown, it looks like, or no, it was Foolish Feline who went to the vanilla location to get to Ice Cave, which that's, I don't know if they didn't know that we have opened up a little hole they can walk through the mountains. But they went to the vanilla location to drop off at that side inlet to get over to Ice Cave.
Yeah, that's pretty funny. It's also possible they want to park the ship there and then head north after this to go check out the waterfall. I don't know how much benefit that would give over keeping it parked near Crescent Lake. It could be either.
Yeah, because I like to take it near Crescent Lake and then go down to Ordeals and then go over, which is what we were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
But we got Dwight is diving deeper into this volcano, and he was able to get through without getting smoked by these gargoyles. Or, damage poisoned, like DVS is getting right now.
He certainly got the heals. He's wisely filled up on heal pots beforehand, so he can potentially pull this off healing wise, especially with that heavy white magic palette.
Mucks also have Zap and Hold. That is
rough.
And that hold was through a ribbon, because I can guarantee that white mage has the ribbon on, because that's the life caster.
Yeah, you gotta hope so.
But I like how Foolish Feline decided to just nope out of Volcano, because the enemies there are just awful, and has found a solo Grimp here on the normal mage spike tile. It finds a mage stick.
And we got a loose crystal up on Dwight Desautel's screen, so that is knowledge, and that is, if I were Dwight, I might just back the heck out now, save, and go for it. I'm not sure I would dive much further. That's you can go there now and turn that in. For all you know, that's the floater. I think you bail.
I agree. And Foolish Feline finding that mage stick here in Ice Cave actually makes Ice Cave quite a bit safer. Because now that white mage can start throwing out the Fire 2 stick instead of having to waste spell charges. Oh, and an Axcal on Dwight's side.
Yeah, it's interesting. Pretty much just like the Aegis Shield and then the Ice Sword up on that first level volcano. Not a whole lot doing, but we're getting a lot more of the stuff we want here on this fourth floor.
And these Ice Cave spike tiles are being pretty friendly. We have Caribes now. We had a Grimp.
A terrifying solo Grimp.
He's just standing there. I got this chest, guys. Don't you worry. Don't you worry. Ah!
I think, as I watch Dwight go for this, despite picking up the crystal and potentially being low on some of the heal pots and maybe having a tough time killing Carrie and knowing what's ahead, I would love to just dive into the minds of all of these runners and see where they're at in this game. I think for a lot of them, it's like a real Ricky Bobby attitude. If you ain't first, you'll last. There are 40 points on the board. If you're I maybe this is absolutely what I need to win. So I think some of these runners might end up choosing to take some riskier dives, some riskier plays, in the name of being the first person to finish and securing points, just because that's what they have to do.
Yeah, they might be outthinking themselves to try and outthink other people here, because
the classic kind of early marsh play, right?
Right,
I can potentially save 20 minutes, but I might also lose 3 minutes doing this, 3 or 4 minutes, whatever it is.
Exactly.
DVS finding the crystal as well. Big old fingers crossed for Mr. Dwight there and for DVS. I hope that Carrie has not rolled too bad, but he has made it there, and the spike tiles surrounding the incentivized chest here in Volcano, not so bad.
Yeah, the images and the wraiths can be bad if the wraiths roll really bad, because they can roll hitting really, really hard.
Yeah.
But I mean, he's got a thief, he can get away, and he's got a fighter. Oh, and there's a bottle, which that's a nice find, but not what you want right now.
And a loot in the ice cave. You need it eventually. Again, you want the sexy airship right now. Not getting it. We'll see if that crystal turns into it, though, or if we're going to have to force our runners to go check Ordeals and Waterfall. Or maybe even find a loose, who knows?
Right, and that would just be... It'd be kind of poetic for these ducks. We give them nice, not so bad flags. Oh, here's a loose floater.
Yeah, like we said earlier, with the open progression flag turned on, it is absolutely possible to do the seed without the airship.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and with a couple of loose items and a couple of duds in there, the way that the randomizer's been going recently, it really feels like it loves to throw those dud items in Lefane and Gaia.
Yeah. Alright, Saitown picking up the crystal himself. So of our on-screen runners, Foolish Feline the only one that actually chose to bail Volcano, go check somewhere else, and he's missing out on that crystal because of it. Yeah, I don't think what he did was a bad play at all. It's just a little bit of information differential on his part now.
No, I completely agree. I probably would have backed out of Volcano too after getting damage poisoned out and some of these other enemies having zap and hold. Like, nah, no thanks. It's not something I want right now. But we have Dwight about to pull carry, so we're gonna have our first Fiend fight, and he's level 12. He's got an Ice Sword. I don't know if he has any way to give himself evasion, which is gonna be the biggest issue.
I think your evasion is a thief named John.
Just stand up front and take it. Oh, we have spells. That's rough. We have Fire 2 coming out from carry to start with. James is hitting for 82. Got a fast out. We got a fade out. 88 on the fade. That's a low roll fade.
Low
that's
roll fade, yeah.
Your thief's doing 1 damage, so that's fun. Because why not? What you gonna
let
do?
him play 2.
Lock 2, fade, hold, ineffective. Lock 2 coming out. Make
very
it carry
generous hold.
a little less evasive. There it was over 105 damage, and wow, that carry did not roll much for HP at all.
No.
That's a very, very generous carry. On 200%, carry can roll quite a few hit points as well as quite a few hits.
Yeah, I'm sure Dwight is breathing a major sigh of relief right now. He made it through that, survived. Okay, that was a bit of a gamble, but we made it through. We have a loose. Let's go figure out what to do next.
And now that Dwight's got that loose, he may actually... I don't know if he's going to gamble on the second loose being a dud, but I'd start just smoking incentive locations right now if I was him.
Yeah, I was going to ask, do you go chase down the crystal, or do you go search for something else?
I mean, the crystal right now is so far out of the way for you, but what you can do is you can go down and around, and you can actually use the Matoya dock on the north side, and it's just south of the Mirage Tower dock, and you can do it that way. So then that way you can start exploring the northern continent, as well as turn in your crystal. But I'd have a really tough time orphaning ice when I'm just right there.
Yeah, and as we know, it's going to lead to the loot, a very important item, but I see we are graced by the duck boss himself, Gregory Puff. Do you hear the 2 most recent Duckling Supremes doing comms? Yes, you do, sir. We are very happy to be commentating on your extremely, extremely high-quality class of ducks doing this right now.
Now we got Saitown on carry as well, and BBBBB just got destroyed by carry.
Yeah, that's
coming out for 93.
About what you expect.
Oh, but carry's down. We didn't get to see it, but carry's down, and here we go.
Alright, I think we're gonna have our tracker swap over the audio. It sounds like Saitown's stream is stuttering just a little bit, so we will swap over to... I believe we're on Foolish Feline now. Yeah, Foolish Feline, awesome. Thank you very much. Again, Reese is our tracker tonight. Reese, thank you so much for helping out.
Yeah, Reese, another one of our ducklings, decided that he wanted to come and help us out tonight, so that's an even bigger thank you, because he could be in this race right now, and he decided that he wanted to help us out, and that's part of what's great about this community, is that we love to put on shows, and people love to help us out, so it's fantastic. So thank you so much, Reese. Now the question is, where's Foolish Feline gonna go, and where is Dwight gonna go? It looks like Dwight is gonna go back into the inner sea to turn in that crystal. Which I don't blame him for, because you never know what that crystal is gonna turn into. But it's just, that's a lot of time lost going back into the inner sea and then back out.
Yeah, and I think Dwight is handling it in an appropriate way, right? He is saving as often as possible. He is trying to give himself an out if he hits a bad string of encounters there. And I haven't really been paying attention to the encounter table and what stretches exist. But I think that's how you got to do it. You just overload on the cheap stuff and save as often as possible.
Yeah, I agree. So we're gonna find out what that crystal turns into. And we get a key, which means that Cornelia Locked is on the table.
Yeah. Turns out that is a very good play. Because not only do we get that locked, we're also about to get a whole bunch of chests in the Inland Sea available to us now, and you absolutely take the time while you're here to do it. Alright, and Foolish Feline making way for that waterfall. I really like some of the routing decisions Foolish Feline is making. They're clearly a little bit out of step with some of the other decisions our runners are doing, but I think these are savvy plays. I think with the warp or exit charge that you've got, this is a great time to be doing this. He went and bought the Oxyale. I will be very, very interested to see if he decides to go straight for Kraken, God forbid, I don't know. And we get a crown from Dwight Desitel over in the Keylock to Canaria. It's another great Inland Sea check. He's probably going to go over there anyways to check the 4 locked chests in Northwest Castle. You've got 8 more in Dwarf Cave, 4 more over in Elfland. You got 2 at the Temple of Fiends as well on the right side. They're locked behind the keys. Give you a spike tile to check as well. But I think Dwight is probably going to avoid that. A lot of time wasted for 2 chests that since you already have 1 loose, and yeah, I see, let's see here, I see Aylmore Castle loose down so far, yep.
Oh boy,
yeah,
that
sure enough,
crystal turn-in was huge now.
Yeah, Dwight has got to be feeling so good about that choice. Gregory Puff asking, who's winning besides the peeps watching? We're all winning. Because we're here with our Duck Derby participants watching a really great race so far. We're all winning.
Absolutely.
The answer, Greg, is I have no idea.
As far as runners go, we've got Dwight with and he picks up a Thor hammer as well, but he's the first one on stream to get the floater. Foolish Feline headed down to the waterfall, found an ice armor, and we get us a ruby from the robot, just taking the Titan's food and heading down to the waterfall.
Yeah, my fear for Foolish Feline is Foolish Feline made a pretty decent play, and it's gonna be almost the exact same thing that happened to me on Thursday night when we raced this as the community race, which is last locationing Volcano. Because you already went there once, you kind of just like mentally tuck it away, and you're like, I'll do it later. I know I have to go there to get the orb anyways, and that, you know, as we know now, that loose item in Volcano is the item to have right now.
Which, it wasn't exactly a loose floater, but it essentially was a loose floater because of the way that things worked out. Yeah, same basic idea. And Dwight being airborne at 40 minutes busts this wide open for himself. He's gonna have the bottle to check as well that he picked it up from there in Volcano. We'll see what that turns into. I think. What's your next play? You're about to get the floater. You've got the whole world in front of you. A number of incentivized locations left. What kind of things are you looking for to make your decision, Gouda? I guess I was muted. I'd go down to Gaia. I would check the bottle. Hope that it turns into the rod. So that way I can go up, check Sarda, check Earth, and then take out Lich. Because with Earth Cave incentivized, it's really nice to go down there and you want to do it in one shot.
Yeah. Now, DVS, I'm not 100% sure what DVS is doing back in Volcano. It looks like he maybe never beat Carry. He has the Crystal, though. I'm curious if he's just taken a stab at this. Now, Scytown stream stuttering just a little bit, but he also now has the floater. DVS walked it out. Okay, thank you, Reese. Again, our tracker doing a very good job of tracking what's going on.
That was potentially super dangerous with getting that encounter when he was off tile and not doing any healing before he got off the lava tiles, because he was at 1 HP on his red mage and I think it was like 16 HP on his white mage, which there's your life caster, and if that goes down, oof, you're gonna be in for a rough time.
Absolutely.
And those are both your fade casters too. DVS did not walk the crystal out.
Okay, something bad happened that we missed.
And DVS is running through this whole dungeon without any real armor. So that's rough.
Yeah. That is a feels bad situation for sure.
And Dwight, yep, he's going down to Gaia. So we're gonna see what this bottle turns into. Potentially, could also turn into a slab.
Now I'm gonna very quickly pull up the standings because I think we've got ourselves an interesting situation. So right now, our dear friend Dwight Desitel is at 72 points. He is in, I believe, 6th place right now. He is looking very good to have a strong finish. Like we said, the first place finisher gets 40 points, second place gets 35, third gets 30, and then it goes down from there.
Dwight,
we have in first
up
place
as TNT.
Yeah, we have in first place DVS with 90 points, tied for that 90 points Sir Linkalot, and then with 82 points behind them, Scytown in third. We have a lot of runners here on stream who are going to be making that play. This is potentially very big for Dwight.
So he picks up his TNT. He's probably going to go turn that in right away. I might have made a pit stop over at Sarda, but he's stopping in here to pick up his Oxy Ale instead.
Yeah, I think it's always a good bet to just hop right on over to Sarda as soon as you get the...
As a newer runner last year, Sarda was the bane of my existence. Because Sarda is always, if you go down to Gaia, Sarda is always the check that you tend to forget. Yeah. Because it's out of the way. Once you go to the Northern Continent, you want to finish out the Northern Continent generally. So
it's like Foolish Feline had to go back for that ruby. Something happened to the waterfall for him. Not sure if it was just a failed save or something like that. But let's see here. Ailmark and armor is a crutch. Gotta go fast. Yeah, who needs heals when you got Nuke? Unfortunately, our runners don't have Nuke, but
oh no,
I like it in theory.
TNT turns into the bonk, and that's what we were talking about a little bit ago. Bonk is nice, but it's not what you're looking for right now. You're looking for the rod to try and get into the Earth Cave, or you're looking for a cube or a chime, something that's progression.
Yeah, absolutely.
But as we were talking about earlier, a lot of times the bottle and the slab tend to become zonk items, and that's exactly what we just saw. Is the bottle turned into the TNT, which turned into a zonk item. Yeah.
So now we have a certain amount of information left to figure out. Second Loose, yeah, Thalfon, Second Loose is still MIA. What we're looking for right now in terms of incentivized locations is that Earth incentive location. We haven't seen Ordeals, although Foolish Feline is instead there right now. And we also, I don't believe, have yet seen Sarda from anyone. We have most of the other information, I believe. Am I leaving any of the incentivized locations out? I know we have Ruby, but I'm not sure if Foolish Feline has gone there yet. And again, if so, I was looking away from the screen when we took it. Those are pretty much the only locations that we have left in terms of figuring out what we got. So that Loose is going to be potentially important one. Fingers crossed for runners, it's not too far out of the way. fingers crossed for sadistic viewers, it'll be in the key-locked marsh cave.
Yeah, and there's the possibility that what we were talking about earlier, Groggy Dog, which is Foolish Feline may end up in go mode without the floater.
Mm-hmm.
Because the way that it's gone so far, you don't need the slab, you don't need the bottle, because that turns into the bonk, and we don't know what the slab is going to turn into, or if the slab is loose. So it's possible that if Foolish Feline gets through ordeals and finds what they need, we might not even need to get that floater. It's a little bit slower, but it's also a turn-in that they don't have to do. Actually, 2 turn-ins they don't have to do.
Ailmarkin putting a curse on our poor runner's rod and locked marsh. Bless RNG. God, I hope not. Oh, for their sake.
Rod and TFC would be nice, but I think that Marsh Cave is the absolute last place that any of these runners are going to go.
Yeah, TFC at least has the benefit of being along the way, sort of.
So I'm calling it right now. If they ever find the slab, it's going to turn into the tail. I'm calling it right now.
Okay.
Call my shot.
Noted. Nice gold bracelet there. It's a good pickup for free. Save you 20,000 gold later on. Again, at a certain point, these runners are not going to be caring too much about money, but for right now, that's still a pretty good pickup. Pro Ring, always happy to see as well, especially with some very squishy friends like Fighter or Black Belt with Warrior of Light. Party, and we get the herb.
I can only assume that Psytown found the slab on Sarda because they look like they were just going over to talk to Dr. Un. So Psytown went to Sarda, and then looked like they were talking to Dr. Un. So we can guess.
Yeah, I think that's a good bet. Nice detective work there, Gouda.
You gotta try and analyze these still shots as they're going through.
Yeah. Now, as a reminder, while we're kind of watching some retreaded ground here, we are also streaming on RPG Limit Break. We have a handful of other runners there, including the tied for first place runner Sir Link-a-Lot over on RPG Limit Break. So if you can handle it, listen, you can watch 8 runners pull off this seed right now. This is primo sports entertainment in a quarantine world. Yeah, and sure enough, it looks like Psytown is going to turn in that translated slab.
Oh, the slab turns into the rod. I pulled up Psytown's stream on the side, so this is something on Speed Gaming's end that I'll ping a Speed Gaming person about this and see what's going on.
Yeah, so that's certainly a better location than Key-Locked March, but that gives us, I think, a very clear thing to do next. There is, let's see here, so what are we away from Go Mode? We still don't have the Chime or Cube, if I remember correctly, so that's what we're left with in terms of we don't quite know where those are. We know Oxyale is in Provoca, but we don't know where the Chime and the Cube are. It's entirely possible that one of those is going to be that last loose item. Fingers crossed for our runners that maybe something like the defense sword is loose instead. We've already seen the ribbon. We've already seen the bonk. Looks like we have lost our stream temporarily. I think we are working on things behind the scenes, so apologies, folks, while we... Yeah,
I think SG is working on it right now to see what they can try and figure out.
Yeah. Good time, again, to say thank you for Speed Gaming. They frequently work with us in airing just a ton of races. We are really thankful to be able to partner with them and all of the people who give a lot of time to set these things up, to stream these things. So thank you again to Speed Gaming for always putting us on their channel. We very much appreciate it.
So I'll see if I can pull up a couple of other streams here. If you want to pull up a couple yourself, I got Psytown going on. He's down in the Earth Cave now that we have the rod. So Scytown's going to go deep into this Earth Cave and see what he can find. I'll try and pull up maybe DVS as well.
Yeah, I've got Foolish Feline pulled up. Foolish Feline we just missed the Ruby check, but we are going to find out for sure that I believe Sarda has the slab.
And Scytown finds another ribbon in the Earth Cave.
Oh, good for Scytown.
So that's their second ribbon. And that second ribbon is in Earth 2 on the right side.
All right, it looks like we should be back here in just a moment, folks. Thanks again for hanging with us. Markin says, glad we have the sultry voices of Gouda and Groggy to keep us in the loop. Listen, I live to surveil. All right, yeah, and here we are back out. Thank you again, Trenton, for putting in the work. We appreciate it. Trenton, please go follow Trenton GL. Absolutely one of my favorite runs in the world to watch right now is the solo Red Mage on FF1 PSP. Shouts to Trenton for always putting on a really good show with that.
And Trenton, another member of our community, who we had a Iron Goal Heavy Metal Championship match earlier this afternoon, where Spellzap, our current champion, beat Thunderclawed, and Trenton stepped up and helped us out when we were in need of a commentator, so big shout out to him for that. That was fantastic.
Alright, yeah, it looks like Scytown's going to be heading over to Earth Cave to check out what that incentivized item is now that he's got the rod. I think that's exactly the right play. I did see, I missed it earlier, but Pro Rings for 17,000 in Elfland. Certainly not the kind of thing you want to see. We found one or two, I believe, along the way, but Pro Rings almost as much as gold bracelets is not the favorite thing.
Nah, but if you have to choose, what do you choose, Groggy? If you have to choose between a Pro Ring and a gold bracelet, or like, say, a silver bracelet for $3,000 or whatever they are.
Yeah, if you had to choose, I would pick Alexander Hamilton. I think if you've got something like a silver bracelet, just take the Pro Ring. Especially if you don't have any other access to, like maybe a wall or something like that. Broadly, though, I'd say just take the armor.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. If you don't have any armor at all and you need to get some absorb, but I like having a Pro Ring because it stops so many instant death spells that you don't know where they're going to be in this game.
Yeah.
Because all the instant death is jarbled around due to the randomizer.
Yeah.
So I like having that safety net of not being in one shot.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, more likely than not, it is going to be a non-issue for these runners. They're going to have plenty of money down the stretch. They will find a way to be equipped going into Topher. I don't think, at least on that end, that is that concerning. I would worry much more about what am I putting on my thief if I don't have a fighter, and what am I putting on my fighter if I haven't found anything good in terms of armor. I think just due to the fact that we haven't found the second loose yet, it means they're going to be checking a lot of chests. Probably going to end up being a moot point as well, but it's always sort of a risk, you just kind of hope. And sure enough, there's a flame armor there in Earth 2. That'll go on a ninja. So that's a good find.
DVS down here with these Kaizokus, and they have Glance, and his party is just hanging out on the water, getting stoned, and not doing their job right now.
Yikes, yeah, that is an ugly sight, and he's gonna, very fortunately, that poor poison black mage is gonna ice to those pirates out of the way. Hopefully he has enough soft. He's got one soft, so I think that's gonna absolutely require a side trip to go restock and get some softs.
And as a side note, DVS just checked out his menu screen with his spells. When you have a white mage, one of the less noticeable spells that people have is the soft spell. It is a spell that white mages can learn. White magic.
Whoa! Is that a great or a Gur-Ogre with nuke in Earthgate?
I missed that, but I saw that
I saw Foolish Feline lose all but flee. Sorry to interrupt you, but that was
no, that's
shocking.
fine. I also saw Mudgoals up on Dwight's side having crack.
Oh,
So
some disgusting low-level encounters in this seed.
That could absolutely explain why Foolish Feline got sent back out of Waterfall, because if you run into some crack mud goals, that's gonna ruin your day.
Yeah, that zombie D-Spike tile was a pretty nice one though.
So I mean, we've got DVS over here getting stoned on the water, and we got Dwight up in the waterfall doing some crack. I mean, this is just rough for these runners.
Poor ducks. Alright, yeah, it looks like the zombie D's not too hard to take down, I think. Dwight getting mid-teens now over there in Waterfall. Not a bad idea.
He should have a charge of exit on that white mage, I think, already.
Yeah.
So, and these zombie Ds, they give a ton of experience. Like, you want to get the zombie D Whiz Vamp pack versus a vampire Whiz Vamp pack, but if you can get all zombie Ds, that's absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
Especially when you have the mage stick.
They have low health too. That it did not take much to get them out. So we'll see. Dwight looks pretty low on spell resources there, but he's still going for it. I think he's going to rely on that power staff to, or the mage staff to get him through. And DVS is about to pick up the crown and then head towards.
It is first turn nuke by George's.
God.
George with first turn nuke. George of the Earth Cave, nuke you in the face.
Absolutely disgusting.
That's rough. And everybody hates Earth Cave as it is. Like, I've rage quit so many times out of Earth Cave, and that just reinforces the fact that Earth Cave is awful.
Yeah.
And Sci-Town sees nuke and just says, "Nope, out of here. Not even gonna deal with this today."
Finds ice armor in the waterfall for his fighter. That is a happy find there.
Foolish Feline is beating their face against this Earth Cave with the nuke Georges, and one of the reasons why you put a thief in front is because you tend to get, well, just based on the way that their stats are, you get a better chance to ambush, and the chance that enemies ambush you is reduced pretty significantly as far as the Final Fantasy series goes. And those Georges are still ambushing, even with that thief in front. So it's gonna take probably get to level mid-20s, so that way hopefully the Georges will start running away.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's just so many bad options right now. You gotta feel for these runners at a certain point. It's just like, okay, which one do I want to deal with today?
Dwight doing the Cope talk, trying to get a little luck from Cope up there in Onrak.
Yeah, and he's going to do, I have to imagine, a full clear of Sea Shrine here. There are two sides to the Sea Shrine. On the left, you have the side that leads to the boss Kraken. On the right, you have the side that leads to the Mermaid floor. And in the base game, the Mermaid floor gives you the slab or the Rosetta Stone, depending on which version you're doing. Generally, the good strategy is take the left side, go take Kraken. You're gonna have to do it anyways, and check chests while you go. While there are certainly more chests on the Mermaid side, and they are much easier to check, it's sort of always the weighing out of options, right? It's do I need to do this? What is the most efficient way to do this? If the second loose is on Kraken side, you save yourself time.
Yeah, and most of the veteran runners do the left side first for that exact reason, Groggy. And right now, we see Foolish Feline getting J-Copered by these bats. There's a reason why they created the flag called NPC Guillotine, and it's 100% because of what happened to one of the veterans of this community, J-Coper, where he just had to wait for a bat right here in this hallway. It just wouldn't get out of the way.
Now, see, the trick here is that slightly above where that bat was, there is a room full of bats. It's the party bat room. Some people, myself included, like to go and offer up a quick dance. All right, and there's the cube there in Earth incentive. But some people like to go just step in the doorway of that room, dance around back and forth, and say hi to the bats. And I certainly do that to get the good RNG blessing from those bats for the rest of the game. I don't think Foolish Feline did that. I think, bad juju, obviously, but that's just my take on the situation.
Yeah, the other option is with NPC Guillotine on is to go up into that room and say, "All right, bats, you've done this enough to me," and you go in and you slaughter
Scare them,
all of the bats. And then you go up there and you find out that that entire room is filled with spike tiles.
It's about sending a message. Yeah, it's always those fun little secrets that you find out when you play the game in ways it was not meant to be played.
Oh, there's a loose tail!
That explains so much in the chime!
That is... So your second loose is literally right on the way. Once you get that ruby, you don't need to... You need to go turn that ruby in, check it all out, and there's your second loose just hanging out right next to the chime. So
and it's so tragic because Foolish Feline doesn't know that the other loose is in Volcano just a little bit down from where they bailed. Scytown is the first runner on our stream to have perfect knowledge of what's going on.
So right now it looks like Scytown's looking for Cube Chime loot. 'Cause I'm not sure that he got down and actually took out Carrie. We'll have to wait for him to menu and find out. Oh, yep, he's got one. So he's got the fire orb. So he has gone down and he has gotten his. So I'm assuming that means he's gotten his loot as well, because that's where the
loot was Ice Cave.
Oh, loot was Ice Cave.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah. So the bottle came from the incentive fire chest. Herb comes from the bottle, I believe. And then Cube, we now know, is locked behind the rod.
Our fantastic tracker, Reese,
or in front of the rod, sorry.
has given us a nice little outline that I'm going to read right now because he did such a great job at this. We have a little... I'll do a little recap. The King gave us the ship. Sarah gave us the canoe. The Provoca shop had the Oxy Ale. Vicky himself gave out the canal because he's, a great pirate who gave us the canal. The Sages gave the adamant. The Smith gave us a ribbon. The Agama floor had a loose crystal. Ice Cave had the loot. The Red D chest, the incentive Volcano, had the bottle. Matoya had the key. Corneria Lock had the crown, which turned into the floater from the kindly old king who decided to attack us as Astos. Robot had the ruby, Tiny Fairy had the TNT, Merrick had a bonk for us, Sarda had the slab, Ordeals had the herb, the slab turned into the rod, Vampire chest was the cube, and we have us a carry fight.
Yes, sir. Oh, and Dwight going with the disrespect, trying to bracken the Kraken over here. Let's see if it pays off for him. This is certainly the time to do it if you're going to go for it.
I love Bracken the Kraken. It's actually a decently high chance. I'm not sure I like it as much with only one Black Mage caster.
Yeah, you definitely want to go for the odds there, but I think it's still sort of a fun way. I think it was my dear friend Shadow Wisher, not our amazing runner Shadow Walker, but my dear friend Shadow Wisher, who had in our Duck tournament, I believe, Brack to Brack, where she took out, I believe, both Kraken 2 and Tiamat 2 with Brack. Genuinely one of the most absurd things I've seen in this game. You always love a good broken into pieces on these bosses.
Yeah, and I do like what Dwight's doing with his Thief. He knows that the Thief is not going to do much damage just trying to hit Kraken, so he's over there using the Thor Hammer, because Kraken 1 is weak to lightning spells.
Yeah.
So we got some Fades coming out and some Thor Hammers, and Kraken says, I don't want to take any more of your poison, your stone poison, so he just punches that Black Mage directly in the face.
Yeah. I am very happy to report that Foolish Feline is making a very... doesn't know it yet, but a very heads-up play to go back to Volcano, complete that. Now, obviously, you're a little bit weighted towards going back to Volcano because Foolish Feline knows there's an incentive item there that hasn't done. Gotta do the Fiend fight anyways. And in that, hopefully in that search, fingers crossed, doesn't cut any loose corners, is gonna find that second loose, and it's gonna be one step away from, or a couple steps away from the floater.
And Scytown going through and equipping that black shirt, so now that black wizard has time and ice resistance. which is huge. And the black shirt gives the exact same amount of absorb as a gold bracelet. So it's a really nice have. Nice find, nice to have with that black shirt.
Yeah, absolutely.
And Dwight, not knowing that the second loose is over in the Titan's tunnel, just free for the taking, he is going through and he's going to full clear the entire right side of C, which takes a ton of time, but if you are in full clear mode, you absolutely have to do this. Luckily, Dwight is in the lead right now, so he's going to be giving up some time to Sci-Town, who is pretty much they're in go mode, right? Not go mode, they're in no mode. Because they just have to grab all their incentive locations and go.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. I think, like I said, I do think Dwight is still in the lead. I think the lead is very tenuous right now. Depending on how this goes, how quickly Dwight makes it over to Titan's Tunnel, this could potentially be someone else's game. Fingers crossed for Dwight that he's able to do this pretty quickly.
Yeah, I'm not sure that he has anything else that he can do after this. I think he absolutely has to go to Titan's Tunnel because he doesn't have any. Yeah, he can't go into Mirage. He can't go anywhere until he goes to Titan Tunnel. So, luckily for him, he doesn't have a lot of other dungeons that he can clear. If he had the Chime and the Cube, he could be just bleeding time.
Yeah, that would definitely be a fear. I know it's sort of a meme unto itself at this point, but going, sky, 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 sometimes is the right play, sometimes it's not. That defense sword from the Elf Prince is going to be a good item to have. It's one of those things that I think really new runners don't necessarily see the benefit in, but it's basically going to cast Ruse on yourself. It's a great item to be able to just sort of give someone else. Foolish Feline there gets the loose crystal. Almost certainly going to stop checking chest now. Yeah, and booking it right through. The defense sword, again, it's not progression, it's not the sexy item, it is a very good endgame item to have, though.
Yeah, it's one of the two things that if you are going to try and man mode through chaos, that you absolutely have to have. You have to have the defense sword and you have to have the power bonk.
Yep.
Because that way you can up the amount of attack strength you have with the hit percentage, and you can make sure that nothing can actually punch you in the face.
Yeah. And it looks like Foolish Feline is going to do what I think is a fine strategy of just like checking a few more chests, see what you can get, but not doing full clears anymore, which, yeah. You've got 2 loose, you know what you need now. Just go.
Yeah, they're greed chests. They're chests that are only 1 or 2, maybe 3 steps out of the way. And Dwight is talking to Bubbles because Bubbles is not getting her mermaid tail out of the way. And now we have runners all over the place. We've got Dwight doing the mermaid side. We've got Foolish Feline back in Volcano getting their bottle. We've got DVS down in Ordeals, and we've got Sci-Town doing their clear of ice. At this point, Sci-Town should have enough charges of warp and exit that they can just grab one chest, get out of here. And he's getting his mage stick and his loot, and that should... Does he have the cube?
Yeah, so now it's just a matter of going to the Earth Cave.
Oh, because he kept getting knocked out of the Earth Cave by those Georges that decided to full nuke everybody.
Yeah, and he's got the rod, so I think this is the time to do it. Foolish Feline going ahead and pull and carry. Certainly very well equipped to handle it now. And we see Dwight thought about Earth Cave for a second.
I think Dwight was out of houses. So when Dwight went in and realized he probably didn't have the amount of spell charges that he wanted, that's where the rough time came from. And one of the things that we didn't talk about at all was the fact that some of these runners got over the level of 15 before they class changed, and Dwight's way over 15. It still hasn't class changed. but 15 is important because if you class change before 15 with a knight and a ninja, they'll at level 15 that knight and the ninja will start gaining spell charges. For the knight it's level 1, 2, and 3, and for the ninja it's level 1, 2, 3, and 4. And the knight has red wizard permissions, then the ninja can learn every single black magic spell 1 through 4. So those are...
Get another face full of nuke from those Georges. That is... God, I mean, it's just awful watching our runners go through this. That is such a terrible, terrible enemy to have nuke. I think what I'm interested right now is... I'm not 100% sure... I think Dwight might have missed a check somewhere. I'm not sure if maybe
he did.
Or Tracker missed something, or if Dwight missed a check. But clearing that,
he missed the ruby.
Yeah, I'm wondering if he's forgotten about the ruby, because checking Earth Cave before checking the ruby is definitely a curious play.
Absolutely.
When in doubt, always go with just like the information. Go with those easy checks. Because he doesn't have the rod, so this is gonna necessitate a double dip. He might be hoping that he finds the rod in Earth Incentive. He might also just be checking out what's here on Earth 1 before going out to dip the ruby. That would not be a typical play, but it is entirely possible as well. Yeah, I'm very curious to see. All right, yeah, warping out, saving. Resetting, yeah. I mean, it looks like he's doing an Earth dive. I'm curious as to what's prompting this from Dwight. I think it might just be a simple matter of, like you said, he might have just forgotten he has the ruby.
And I mean, he's not gonna. He's bleeding time checking these chests, but he's not gonna bleed as much considering he's got warp, he's got exit. He can go down, grab the item, which is going to be his cube, and get out of there. But without a chime, that cube literally does nothing for him.
Yeah. Coolest feeling picking up his key from Matoya. We know now he's going to be headed next over to Canaria, check some chests, get the crown, and then right after that he is going to be headed to Northwest Castle to pick up that floater. And at the hour 13-minute mark, we finally get the bridge boss from Fool's Feline. Congratulations to him.
Groggy. So remember like a half an hour ago when I said Dwight should go check Sarda?
Yes.
I guess.
Oh no.
That's
it. Yeah.
The Sarda is what he missed. He's got to go over. Oh, come on,
for
Dwight.
Something.
Because Sarda is one of those easy checks that tends to get overlooked when you go to the northern continent, and that's going to be really rough because Sarda is where you have to go and get. Because Sarda gives you the slab, and then
right, yeah, the slab turns into rod.
And yeah, so. Luckily for Dwight, everybody is having trouble with these Nuke Georges.
Yeah.
But those Nuke Georges, this is where it's unfortunately for the Ducks higher level encounter manipulation. So you go in there off a hard reset, you find out where the Georges are, you burn off that many encounters, and then you go back in and you see if you get more Georges, and then you burn off more encounters, and you manipulate out. You manipulate them out to the best that you can.
Yeah,
and that's a lot higher level encounter manipulation. I learned that from Shadow Walker because watching him play, he talks and he lets you know that all right, I know that this awful enemy is the second encounter after I get here. So before I get to the stairs, burn off 2 encounters, walk in.
Yeah, and you're right. Encounter manipulation is one of those things. It is. I think what moves a runner from the perhaps intermediate to advanced level, I don't want to say it's a beginner to intermediate. I think right now we're looking at intermediate runners, very good intermediate runners. But yeah, I think exactly what you're talking about, that kind of what I think happens for runners of randomizers broadly. And I know this because it happens to me all the time because my brain can only handle so many things at once, is you have to be so comfortable with so many things in this game that your brain says, I'm recognizing this pattern, I know how to get around this pattern by manipulating this RNG encounter table. You have to know how to do that in the first place, and then you go and do it. That is a lot of things that you take for granted for your brain to just like be so comfortable that it can notice, hey, that sucks. There's a way around it. What is that way around it? How do I do it? And then execute that well. It's very tough, and I definitely think, like, we've seen some low-level encounter manipulation from some of these ducks, and that is a really cool thing for them to have at this level in the, again, quote-unquote beginner tournament when they're playing at such a high quality of competition. But yeah, absolutely what you said. And our tracker, where he's talking about chat, knowing when to burn off encounters, something I'm still getting used to. I think that's sort of the start. Like, you notice, okay, what is it like off of my immediate reset? Do I get an encounter? Can I use that in areas like the desert outside of Mirage Tower or right outside of Crescent Lake? Can I use that early encounter to perhaps try and force something like a T-Rex or a Pete or something like that? It's an easy way to sort of dip your toes into encounter manipulation.
Absolutely. And the fact that you can, one of the things that I like to do, and I learned this from Tyrannix and Crab Cakes, is to check out around the first 4 or 5 encounters that you get. And it's really easy to do outside of Corneria.
Yeah.
And once you get those first 4 or 5 encounters, you see how quickly they come. You can know whether or not you want to burn off 3, 4, 5 encounters before you enter into a dungeon and can get a really, really long run. Because those really long runs are what you need to, have survivability.
Yeah. Dwight picking up the herb over at Ordeals. Meanwhile, Foolish Feline picking up that floater. Immediately going to promote. Gonna turn in the bottle and the slab next, I have to imagine. And then they will be in go mode. Yeah, not even no mode anymore. They just as soon as they turn in that slab, it is go mode for Foolish Feline.
And now, coming up here in the next probably 15 to 20 minutes, we're going to find out whether or not Fighter was really needed. I'm feeling really bad for Dwight right now. He seems to... There's the defense sword that we know that comes from the Prince, which is a nice to have, but not what you're looking for right now. You're looking for that rod, that chime. We know where it is. Dwight... Maybe he remembered.
Flying in the right direction. We'll see where he takes this. I wonder if he's gonna go straight to Earth. He might think that. Oh, there it is.
Look, we found the Sarda cave.
All right, this is a good start. Now we just need that Titan Trove after this.
And so I know what a lot of runners like to do is they like to keep the flags up next to them, or what I like to do is I like to write down where my incentive locations are and how many loose and how many duds I have.
Yeah, I do the same thing. I could not play this game without the notepad that I use and the tracker that I use from Sealy Fae. I know there are a lot of runners and some really advanced runners who are able to keep all that information in their brains, and like, God bless them. That is not for me.
Yeah, I know we're not doing Entrance and Floor Shuffle today, but the Entrance and Floor Shuffle tracker that Meridian created, one of our fantastic devs our devs in this game are absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
The Entrance and Floor Shuffle tracker is a godsend, because I would never be able to play any Entrance and Floor Shuffle seeds at all without that thing.
Yeah,
I'd just be completely lost.
Alright, good. Dwight, make sure to get that slab translated. Another very easy thing to forget is to hop right over to Elephane, and then you've got a whole Lupa situation on your hands.
And as Respolt was pointing out, using a notepad's absolutely 100% fine for Entrance and Floor Shuffle tracking as well. I mean, I've got a lot of screen real estate, which is why I can do it, and if you don't have a lot of screen real estate, which I didn't for a while, I actually took Meridian's tracker and just printed it off onto a sheet of paper.
Yeah, absolutely. For the longest time, I played on just very crummy laptop and only had the one screen. I've got 2 now, thank goodness. But yeah, normally like when it's Entrance Shuffle, I just have a list like going down, and then I'll like draw out the Cardia Islands and just like write down where the entrances are. So yeah, whatever works for you. Again, some people, they don't need that stuff, they can do without it. But I think there's absolutely no harm in writing down stuff as you go.
Absolutely, and this game can be played in so many different ways, and there are people who take notes. They're still super fast. I mean, Groggy Dog is he's a current Duckling Supreme. He's one of the better runners in this game. Takes notes. I take notes, but it's however you're comfortable playing, and don't feel bad if you use it. The Georges also have heat, so thankfully, when Scytown came in this time, ambushed with heat and punching, and not nuke, which is that was some good RNG. I wonder what the George's chance for nuke is, because it seemed like it was pretty high when all these runners went in there.
And it looks like our friends over RPG Limit Break have also just lost the stream. It sounds like a power outage from their restreamer. So if you are joining us from RPG Limit Break, welcome. We have quite the race on our hands. I think, based on what I could see right before RPG Limit Break went down, it looks like Sterling Galat, who is tied for first with Scytown, is indeed in the lead right now. It'll be interesting to see if that holds. Again, we're going to be, tied for the first with DVS. It'll be interesting to see if that holds, but DVS has struggled. Unfortunately, DVS got a lot of bad luck in this run. I'm not going to go so far to say bad decisions. I don't think that's the case for what has happened to DVS. I think there's been a lot of it. And so, again, Sterling Galat potentially in the position to take that first place, that 40 points, to knock all those pretenders to the throne out of here. But if something happens, maybe in Topher, or if one of these runners are able to catch up, some of these other runners like Foolish Feline and Scytown are absolutely still very much in it, as well as Dwight, if Dwight can potentially catch up after forgetting Sarda and come back. That's definitely still on the table.
Yeah, this is for the first about an hour and I don't want to say 5 minutes of this race. This seemed like Dwight's race to lose. I was going to have him probably at an hour and a half finishing time, and then he forgot Sarda and didn't turn in the Ruby, and next thing you know, he's full clearing C, which is about like a 5 to 7 minute time loss when you have to full clear the right side with this high encounter rate. The biggest thing with this is that high encounter rate.
All right, fingers crossed for Dwight. Those Georges for him and DVS. We have all 4 runners in Earth Cave right now. All right, so we have the potential for a lot of nuke Georges going on, unfortunately.
And Scytown's getting some really, really good RNG right now, not getting nuked at all by these Georges, even though he's getting the Georges in not necessarily in packs, but he's getting them on his screen. So we haven't found anything.
Knocks down the vampire before you know it.
We've got an X-Cal and we've got an Ice Sword and a Katana. So I mean we've got endgame weapons, but that's only if these runners want to get their ninja to a viable level to.
Yeah.
Dwight's getting nuked. He does have a knight now, and that knight is going to have life 2. Which is going to be absolutely huge if he remembers. So one of the things that I'd like to write down is where Life 2 was, or if certain things can be night learnable, because having Ruse as night learnable means you don't have to have a defense sword, which is fantastic.
Out of that nuke. Yeah, I think the one I really struggle with is always Red Mage and Red Wizard. I am god-awful. Now, Red Mage is very easy. If I click it and it doesn't work, I know it's not Red Mage learnable, but trying to forecast out okay, is the 3rd slot the one that the Red Wizard can't learn? Is it the 4th slot? I'm god-awful at that, and it's just there's always something to be learning. So when you are getting from beginner to intermediate, it's learning what can the different levels of magic casters use. It's when you are going from intermediate to advanced, it's things like what are the bosses and what are the big enemies susceptible to? What are they immune to? What specific elements does each piece of high-level armor protect me from? What is the difference in their absorb values? All of that. There's always something to be learning, and it's nice. This game is forgiving enough that you don't have to know that kind of thing, but it can for sure be the the piece of knowledge that sets you apart from another runner and gets you that extra few seconds, gets you that extra minute that you need to win a race. And so it's nice. It can be overwhelming at first, but again, fortunately, this is a forgiving enough game that you don't have to know all that much to get started.
Right, exactly. I mean, you know that a ribbon protects you from almost everything, and then just chalk it up to bad RNG when it doesn't. It's pretty simple with that. That's what I like to do. But throw rings protect you from instant death. And other than that, I mean, if you really want to get down to the nuts and bolts, that's when you start looking at, A-Rub helps you out in Topher if you don't have wall. A-Fire, A-Lit can be helpful as well. And blink and you miss it, Sci-Town, while they're in go mode, is just screaming. The Sci-Town past Dwight now is on his way to Tiamat, and it doesn't look like he's going to be slowed down at all by anything here in the Mirage Tower.
He is burning. I am going to quickly drop a link in chat. This is the multi-stream to the 4 runners who were on RPG Limit Break. Unfortunately, like I said, that restreamer lost power. I don't know that we'll get RPG Limit Break back. Sir Linkalot, like I said, perhaps in first place right now, if you would like to watch that. They are about 40 seconds ahead of us on that multi-stream, depending on what the delay is from us to you guys listening to us. I don't know what's going to be for y'all. But Sir Linkalot currently going for that 4th orb in Sky Tower right now. This is going to come down to the wire. Again, Sci-Town is at 82 points. Sci-Town needs to finish first and needs Sir Linkalot to finish in 3rd to take over the first place spot. That is absolutely doable. There are a lot of runners that we do not know yet where they are. So if Sci-Town can pick up the pace a little bit, have a really good Sky Tower, a really good Topher, it is not out of the realm of possibility for Sci-Town to take over that first place. But right now, it looks like it might be Sir Linkalot's tournament to lose, and that is a big statement. So best of luck to all runners here in the home stretch. This is the culmination of a lot of work on all their parts.
Yeah, Sci-Town,
we are seeing some really great races tonight.
Sci-Town just hit level 21, and with these flags, 200% bosses, 21's not out of the realm of possibility. It'd be nice to have a Masa, which he doesn't have, but with that X-Cal, I believe the next breakpoint on that X-Cal is 27, if I recall correctly.
That is the exact kind of statistic that I do not know.
Yeah, so I'm trying to remember off the top of my head. I don't know X-Cal very well. I thought it was like 19 and 27, but I could be wrong. Chad, if you want to help me out, if you know X-Cal breakpoints better than me, just I don't feel bad not knowing it. But that's another one of the little intricacies that you can learn. Sci-Town obviously is not happy with gear or still searching for a Masa because he's digging chests. He's in go mode. He's level 21. Right now is the time to just blow through this dungeon and get through Tia. You've got Brack, you've got a Bane sword, you've got Fast, you've got a defense sword, you've got everything you need to take out Tia in multiple different ways. So it's time to just put your foot on the gas and get going. If you can take some levels on the way up, fantastic. If you can't, level 21 across the board might be okay. I mean, your Black Mage is going to die a lot. But I'd just be pumping the gas right now. Thank you, Ale Markin. So we have 4th at 18, 5th at 29. So that's close. 18 and 29. There's a 0% chance Sci-Town is going to be going to 29. So if you're at 21, just go for it. And we got Dwight just hot on his heels. Dwight is not checking chests. He says, I don't need anything else. I've got everything I need. And we're on our way. So Sci-Town checking some chests, giving Dwight a chance to catch up a little bit.
Credit to Dwight. Dwight has made up a lot of time. That could have potentially been a lot worse for him, and he might be, kicking himself right now for that missed check. But credit to him, he's burning now.
And Sci-Town is also, I don't know if you heard me, but Sci-Town is on his way to just hit these greed chests on Sky 3. Didn't take anything on Sky 1 or 2. But Dwight's getting hit up pretty hard by these Catmen. So hopefully that means that his encounter table is going to be a little bit more forgiving on the rest of the way through, but we don't know that for sure.
Yeah, I'm wondering what Sci-Town was checking. Maybe another ribbon just in case, something like that.
I'd have to guess Masa Masa or a ribbon are the only two things I could really think that he was checking for. We'll have to ask him.
Again, it's those greed chests, right? It's pretty harmless to check. You're only gonna lose a couple seconds, and maybe you get something really, really valuable.
Yeah, he was checking greater than less than though, which was the big thing that I was wondering what he was thinking.
Yeah. I consider less than greater than to be greed chests. I'll be totally honest. I think that they are not that far out of the way. I hear people, say like, "Oh no, never do that. I hate those." I love checking less than greater than room. I frequently will do that.
Oh, it's a lot of chess, but I mean, checking that basically made Dwight go from not anywhere near Mirage to in Mirage hot on his heels.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's you don't think that it's a lot of time lost until you watch another runner who's directly behind you just almost pass you.
Yeah, absolutely fair. And it looks like over on the multi-stream that we linked earlier, Sir Linkalot has entered Temple of Fiends at about 1 hour 33 minutes. So our runners here on stream, Sci-Town and Dwight, are gonna have to hope that Topher run goes poorly for him.
Yeah, and if chat or if you, Groggy, can see it, I don't know what kind of levels does Sir Linkalot have. I do not have that multi up right now.
And I should also say, I'm just now saying Gelf, Guelph, I always say Gelf 35, also in Topher. I think beat Sir Linkalot into Topher, actually. So that is potentially the space that Sci-Town needs to take first place. If this goes poorly, knowing for a fact that other people are in Topher right now, maybe all he needs. This is going to be a fantastic finish to what has already been an extremely tight Duck Derby. Again, all these runners doing such a great job. This was not an easy seed, and they are blistering with this encounter rate to be in Topher at the hour and a half mark. So I can't wait to see how this finishes out.
Yeah, and the experience in this was really low as well. The XP was at 2.0, so having these runners not really have to take a grind and just picking the right encounters the entire time, that's fantastic. These runners are low 20s, which is really all you're probably going to need because they both have knights. If you're doing ninja, like a ninja lead, you're going to be wanting mid 20s.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, we've got dueling dragons right now. We've got the mother of dragons herself, Tia, on 2 screens. She's throwing out some fire too, when Sci-Town's throwing out some nuke, while Dwight is throwing out some invis. That katana is doing 5 hits for 200 some damage. That katana wielding ninja is fantastic. But Sci-Town, first one to take down Tia, level 24, which should be way, way, way more than enough.
Yeah, I think that'll be plenty.
I'm hoping I didn't just commentator cursing because 24 should be enough. Dwight takes down Tia. He's level 22. He's probably going to be happy with his levels as well going into Topher with that. And we'll see if he takes any fights on the way down. Sci-Town get rid of his houses, hopefully. Oh, no, he doesn't. So his heal pots are in a really bad spot right now.
Yeah.
He only had 6 cabins, it looked like 9 houses. If you push AB to get in and out of that, it doesn't take a whole lot of time to get rid of your houses and your cabins to save a lot of menuing time. But I think it looked like he might have only had like 40 some heal pots as well. He is not doing the safety heal pots. He He's in burn mode. Let's go. See what he can do. 62 heal pot, says Reese. Thank you.
Quick programming note as well. RPG Limit Break is back up. I'm not sure who we have to thank for getting the restream up, but RPG Limit Break is back up if you want to watch those two runners on stream who are currently in the Temple of Fiends, along with Scytown, and very shortly followed by Dwight here in a second. Alright, and with a reset, Dwight Desitel enters Topher at 136.16.
That super black sprite looks so weird in black rooms.
Yeah.
And that's another thing that we haven't really talked about much. So we do give a decent amount of leeway to runners to have a little bit of creative content with their sprites. And most of these are runners who have made their own sprites, or we do have a couple. We've got the Valkyries of Light pack, which changes your sprites. But it's some of the fun things that people in the randomizer get to do. We've had some more crazy ones. With the bosses being changed, but we try to limit those to just like weeklies and fun stuff instead of the tournaments. Scytown running into mud goals that are not cracking him, surprisingly. But 3 mud goals, so this earth floor could be dicey if you don't have enough ribbons. Because on the Earth floor in the Temple of Fiends Revisited, you get Mud Goal, Rock Goal packs, you get Earths, you get the famous Gurmaduces of Death. We don't have any Gurmaduces of Death today, but... Hey, Uriel Man, welcome to the chat. We got Speed Bump number 1 on Scytown side. We've got Lich 2. We got a Light Axe coming out. We got the X-Cal doing 4 hits, and Lich pedaling the crack as well, taking out BBBBB. Mage Staff for 53. Lich survives the first round, so we've got a Fade coming out. He's not going to use up his nuke charge. He's going to use up a Lit 3 instead. 4 hits, 130. Fade coming out, 127, and down goes Speed Bump number 1. We've got Foolish Feline going to light his last orb, taking out some fighters on the Bridge of Destiny, which is really, really, really good source of experience. And we've got DVS now. He's in the air. He's got his bottle. He is going to check out. He's going to get his TNT from the Tiny Fairy. DVS has had some struggles in this. Dwight, blink and you miss it. He has Lich down. And he is on Carry 2's floor. We are in the volcano part of the Temple of Fiends Revisited. And you can barely see him popping through that black room.
Yeah. For a second I thought he was glitching out there.
Fade coming in. AAA, 4 hits, 117. That's the problem with the X-Cal here in the Temple of Fiends Revisited. You're just basically swinging a baseball bat. You're not doing any extra damage, and the base damage is decent, but you're not. The crit rate is awful. And you're getting no type advantages, because the X-Cal will use type advantage to its advantage on pretty much every other enemy.
Alright, quick programming note. We have had our first finisher, and it was not a streamed runner. Congratulations to JAT2980 for finishing first place with an official SRL time of 1 hour, 39 minutes, and 43 seconds. Very well done to him. Hell of a race to go that fast. We are going to have more finishers coming up very soon. It is going to be a glut of finishers here in just a couple of minutes, I think. Alright, and just like that, Foolish Feline lights their last orb and is going to be headed to Temple Fiends in their own right.
And Scytown leaving the Knight up top to take the damage from Kraken 2. But his main damage dealer is that ninja. So it's probably Knight with a big old as a meat shield for a change. Because 2 hits for 100 and some damage, when you got your ninja doing 3 hits for 400 damage.
410, yeah. Oh, and there's a nuclear.
That's rough. And now we got Dwight hot on his heels coming out against Kraken as well. He left his ninja up top, leaving the knight as the main damage dealer. And Life 2 is going to quickly pick up the Black Mage. We got Heal 3 coming out from the Knight, which I don't like that at all. You save as many Knight charges as you possibly can, just in case you get something really nasty here on this air floor.
Yeah.
We've got Dwight still working on Kraken 2, knowing that Kraken 2 has a lot of evasion. I mean, we're only doing 2 hits for 49 damage.
Oh, and the Iron Gulls on Scytown, unrunnable.
Fade coming out. Yeah, I love these Iron Goals. They are so juicy with experience, and they went down to a Fade, a hit, and a nuke. So, I did not get another level, though. And we got Dwight doing some Fades, some nukes, some swings. 3 hits, 243 damage out of that X-Cal. I'm assuming that he had to have some sort of bonk on there. 6 hits. Oh, he's got fast. Foolish Feline over doing some grinding. Thanks for pointing that out, Reese. We got Tiamat 2, we got defense, we got Invis 2. Tia's coming out with some spells though. Lit 2 not gonna do a whole lot to this party. One shot of Fade and 1 shot of nuke left. Oof. 236. That's a huge shot from Fade. 3 hits, 3 damage. That is That's not good. But 8 hits! There you go. And the absorb on this Tiamat is massive, but that is why you have a katana. 8 hits, another 395 damage. The X-Cal is just not doing anything. Oh, Tia smoking that ninja. This is time for a Cure 4 on that ninja. That is your main damage dealer. You are not going to get anything out of that knight unless you can start bonking him. And over on Dwight's side, the Black Mage and the ninja are both down in the dirt. Dwight doing power bonk strats and some fade strats.
Hearts racing for him.
This is nuts. More power bonk, 7 hits, 300. This Tia's got a lot of health. We got a Bane Sword coming out over on Scytown side. Dwight should be fine. He's got bonk, he's got defense, he's got Cure 4s.
Right,
he should be alright. Scytown taking down Tiamat 2, the mother of dragons, 2,000 years in the past. And we got Scytown on to Chaos. And so on this... Nope. Here we go. What do we have out of Chaos? We got some Life 2 coming out on Dwight's side, so he's going to be hot on the heels of Scytown. Trying to get in here, trying to take out Chaos. Can Dwight make it? Invis 2, defense coming out on Scytown's side. Power bonk on the ninja. He knows that the ninja is going to be his main damage dealer. Defense sword out of the knight. Power bonk. We need some more evasion on that ninja, so that way he doesn't get just destroyed.
And as you say that, down goes the white mage with a nice smoky hit there.
Ninja coming out, 5 hits. Nuke coming out, 304. We're chunking into this chaos pretty quickly. I would have almost left that knight on top to try and take out, just at least get some more likelihood to hit. 5 hits, 77 damage. Rub comes out, going to be ineffective. 8 hits, 631 damage.
Wow.
There you go, Katana. Take 8 hits. Oh, and that's it.
And
GG
Scytown. Scytown. Now, it is worth noting, as we say GG to Scytown, that actually happened several minutes in the past. We were a little bit more delayed on Scytown's stream than any of the others. Extremely well done, finishing first on this stream. He finished with an official SRL time of 1 hour, 42 minutes, and 9 seconds. About 2 minutes later, Sir Linkalot finished in 3rd place with a time of 1 hour, 44 minutes, and 4 seconds. And 36 seconds later, Mundungu finished in 4th place with a time of 1:44:40. And we just had something else happen, which I won't say yet. But a mere 36 seconds separated 3rd and 4th place. And it looks like with that, Sci-Town is going to secure 2nd place. And Sir Linkalot is going to secure 1st place overall and going to challenge me for the Duck Supreme title.
Chaos has nuke and almost took out every single person on Dwight's side with that nuke. Luckily, he already had Cure 4 in the barrel and hit the Knight with the Cure 4. 4 hits, 133 damage out of that ninja. The Knight and the White Mage are still upstanding really strong. So hopefully there we go. And Dwight has finished with an official SRL time of 1 hour, 46 minutes, and 28 seconds in 5th place. So we've got the 2nd and 5th place finishers here on our stream. And that was a hell of a run. And let's see if we can get Sci-Town and Dwight in here for an interview.
Alright, meanwhile, Foolish Feline pulling Carry 2, going in with the black shirt, a mere 30 chip damage, taking a little bit of a worst case strategy here, leaving up that ninja in the top spot. Usually a pretty safe thing with Carry 2 despite everything, but you never know when it's going to happen. That red mage went down pretty fast. Although Carry only hitting for 13 damage, Cure 4 is going to pretty well solidify that, and sure enough, 462 damage there, Carry 2 goes down. And Foolish Feline going to move on to the Sea Shrine floor. Now we are joined by our 2 finishers, Sci-Town and Dwight Desatel. GG's to both of you. Congratulations on an extremely well-run race. How you guys feeling? Let's start with you, Sci-Town.
Relieved it's over. Man, the Earth Cave just annihilated me over and over and over again. I think I got hit by a nuke like 8 or 9 times in there.
I think you weren't the only one, Sci-Town. The Georges decided to just come out with their nuclear power going, and man, they were not shy about using it.
I finally just bailed, went to the Sea Shrine, and just figured maybe I can get a couple levels on the Knight, and he can have life too, and just kind of hope, and that ended up being what did it for me. But I wasn't feeling good about myself. I actually hide IRC while I'm playing, so it wasn't until I was at Tia 2 that I actually looked and saw that somebody had just finished it, or maybe it was during Kraken when I opened it up and I saw that somebody had just finished, only one person. I was like, oh my god, I can't believe there isn't like 10. But feels good. Linkalot killed it in this.
Awesome. Well, GG's. Dwight, how you feeling?
Hey, I'm feeling pretty good. It's hard not to feel good. This event was awesome to be a part of and to play in, and I'm just thankful for that. I am feeling pretty bad. I forgot I had the Ruby for a little while.
We were
for a little bit, and it just left my mind that I had.
Yeah, we felt so bad for you. We were trying to figure out if it was something we had missed or if you had just forgotten it. Yeah, and it turned out to be you were so close. You were poking into that Earth Cave, going up against those nuke Gur-Ogres, and just nearby was exactly the information that you needed.
Yep. And then I was like, oh no, I forgot I had the Ruby, and I'm like, I'm gonna go check it real quick just to see what I get. And then I found the other loose in there too, and I was like, oh, I've wasted so much time.
Yeah, that was a tough one.
Yeah, that's what we were talking about on stream for quite a while, because we were just like, you were in the lead for a significant portion of the race. And Sci-Town, why did you decide to go check the greater than less than?
So, mainly just for chest density, I was just kind of throwing myself at some. Probably not the smartest move, not the Hoyle move, whatever you want to call it if you're playing Euchre. But I just wanted a couple extra chest checks. I ended up getting a pro ring out of it, but I just figured I would do that one and the 4 up at the top of Sky. I figured I'd grab those 2, and that'd be all I would get. I also kind of thought I was way behind anyway, and it was just a little bit of maybe I can just get lucky with something. But yeah, kind of worked out. Kind of didn't, whatever.
I'm really surprised to hear the folk. I'm gonna have to definitely go back and watch this one to hear that I was in the lead for a while because I felt so far behind. I struggled so much to get started.
You were the first person on our stream to go turn in the crystal.
Yeah, that ended up being the sort of big brain play. Is we were wondering how much exploring you're going to be before you dove back into the LNC, but obviously it was sort of that annoying fetch quest, and then boom, all of a sudden, the most valuable thing at that moment.
Yep, and had you listened to me and done what I was going to do, which was go around the bottom and hit up the northern continent and then hit Matoya from the north side, you would have lost a ton of time because you had to go turn in the crown, which was, at that point would have been on the other side of the world.
You would have done what I did.
But yeah, it was a good seed. I liked the thief. Did anybody Dan the thief? Because I kept my thief.
There were some people who were doing thief rainbow strats, which, as we can see from Foolish Feline, he's doing thief rainbow and just took down Tiamat 2. Foolish Feline is on his way to take out Chaos. And two-manning it right now. Did he not pick up Life 2? Obviously did not pick up Life 2 on that Red Wizard. Which, that's rough. So we'll see what happens.
This is gonna be a potentially very gutsy. Oh no!
Oh, come on!
Worst case scenario. Oh, Foolish Feline. This is looking like a reset. If he can pull this out, this is gonna be extremely impressive.
Right. So
has nuke.
Chaos has nuke, which will absolutely kill Flea right now because what we want Chaos to start doing right now is we want Chaos to start punching, and we want Chaos to start punching really hard. There we go. Can we get a crit loop here? 5 hits, 400,
wow.
3. Oh no, I think next is going to be that nuke. What's going to happen? Chaos did not get turn order, 4 hits. There's another punch. Come on, Chaos.
You can do it.
Defense sword coming in handy.
Yes! Oh my god, that is so amazing.
Foolish Feline with an official SRL time of 1:53.10. Absolutely
tempting fate. Whew. Chaos decided that I don't need this nuke. I'm gonna punch you. Oh, you're evasive? Oh no!
Yeah.
And Chaos, that was fantastic because we knew nuke was coming up.
That was a good fight by Foolish Feline, just playing to their playing to the outs there. That was awesome.
Oh, for sure. And you could tell Foolish Feline even kept one spot open for the Red Mage to have Life 2 and then just never went back and got it. Foolish Feline, I didn't check if they did any safety strats to go back and get heal pots. We were pretty busy with Psytown and Dwight.
Alright, it looks like here in just a few minutes we will be joined by Foolish Feline as well. Looks like they're going to take just a little bit of time before they hand over. But yeah, some outstanding running. Now, looking back, what of the 4 days of Duck Derby flags, which were your favorites? And that can go to either Psytown or Dwight.
I like this one. This one and the last one were my 2 favorites. Last one was my worst finish out of the 4, but I like the floor shuffles and all that craziness. But this one and the one before were my 2 favorites for sure.
I like the floor shuffle a lot, even though I did the worst in it. But I think my favorite has to go to the first track. There's just something really fun about starting out with the airship and like all the discussions we talked leading up to the race because it was the first one, and about where to go first and what checks to do. And some people were saying you should go get all the key items and then go beat the pirates because you get more experience, which is legitimate. And it was just really fun, just quick too, you know.
DVS guts out a very close victory over Kraken 2. That nuclear just about wipes DVS out, but still in it. Got those life charges and going on to take the team out too.
I wonder if he's gonna put a ribbon back over to his, or wall his ninja this time, because that Bane is what took out the ninja, and right now ninja is his main damage dealer, and he's gonna need to keep that ninja alive. Did not put a ribbon on him, and we'll see if he decides. There we go. There's a wall to start with, so hopefully that ninja will be able to stand up this time.
Dang, DVS found the white shirt. Where was that white shirt at?
Couldn't tell you.
Nope, don't know. So, Sci-Town, while this Tier 2 fight is going on, Sci-Town, your brethren here in Duckness, Dwight, has embraced the Iron Goal. Do you have any plans on joining in on some of this Iron Goal fun?
I'm so ignorant to everything. I'm just I'm just coming in and having some fun. I hadn't beat a seed as of like 5 weeks ago, or had never played a seed. So,
well, Iron Goal's a good way to get in.
Yeah, I've been a Zelda randomizer runner. Kind of just got into this, and it's a lot of fun. I really enjoy it. I'll probably get into some of the shenanigans at some point.
Good.
Well, we're so glad that
well done to you.
We're so glad that you were able to join in with us. Glad we can get some of the other randomizer people to come out and join in the Final Fantasy randomizer craziness.
Speaking of being joined, we are also joined by Foolish Feline. Congratulations, very well run race, GG.
Thank you.
How you feeling about the race? What kind of things stood out to you in that? I have some thoughts about what might be the key moment for you, but I'm curious to hear how you felt.
My big turning point there was I went Volcano and stubbornly insisted on scouring that armory for gold. Just getting wiped by, I swear, every ability under the sun in there. Damage, poison, nuke, just about everything that could kill me killed me in there.
Yeah. It was interesting. You all pretty much went to Volcano right away, and Feline, you were the first to dip out. You know, like, you saw what you saw. You're like, you know what, this isn't for me. You went to Ice. I think we were both praising that on air as a pretty savvy play to just bail when something isn't going right. But then shortly after that is when we saw some of the other runners go down 2 more levels and find that loose crystal that ended up leading to the floater, and it was just like, oh no, it wasn't a bad play, but it was the wrong play in the situation. So I'm sure that had to hurt a little bit when you went back and found it.
Yeah, that was definitely a bummer. I knew then that I was pretty far behind. I was already feeling pretty far behind after taking all those wipes, but I figured if everything horrible is in Volcano, Ice is probably going to be relatively safe for one. So I went there. I went everywhere but Volcano. Volcano had scared me away, so I almost last location that. I hadn't turned the Adamant in yet, but that was the second to last check I could have possibly made for that.
Yeah.
Oh no, so not to cut you off, Foolish Feline, but we have DVS about to take on Chaos, and DVS also did not go pick up Life 2 on that Red Wizard. So he was down to 1 cast of Life 2, decided to pick up the Red Wizard, and now he does not have a Black Mage for this, or Black Wizard for this fight. So we're gonna see how this goes. Your finish was absolutely insane.
I was gonna say, as we saw, it can be gutsed out, and that was feeling of all the, because you, despite making the wrong decision in leaving Volcano, again, not a bad play, but just not the one that worked out in the seed. I think you navigated the map extremely well from the boat. You made a lot of really heads-up plays and were going extremely fast. More than anything, we were celebrating that Chaos fight. That was extremely well done. That was a heady situation. And you did a great job with it.
Yeah, thank you. For that, I was feeling very nervous about that because I dove in there at like level 21, 22. I was pretty low on a seed where scaling can go up to 200%, so I was feeling pretty iffy about that. Especially with a thief, because then you don't have that extra HP that a fighter or a monk would have to absorb like a nuke if one of those comes out.
And we found out through other people's streams that Chaos was nuclear. He was packing a nuke, and we were just waiting, and we were saying, come on, Chaos, keep punching, keep punching, keep punching, because we don't know how deep it was in there, but we know that it was pretty close. I love DVS doing this. Fog 2, making sure that Chaos cannot hit him very hard. Fog 2 is about a bracelet worth of absorb, and speak of that, down goes Chaos, and DVS finishes. That was a really, really rough seed for him. DVS finished in 15th place with an official SRL time of 2 hours and 45 seconds. So we're quickly getting down. Everybody on our stream is finished. Let's just run through it really quick. We have Jat in first, Sci-Town in second, Sir Linkalot in third, Mundungu in fourth, Dwight in fifth, Demon RHK in sixth, The Life Reboot in seventh, Chad Burt in eighth, DVO XS in ninth, Guelph in 10th, Rubiz? Can somebody help me out here? I think it's Rubiz.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Okay. He is in 11th, Foolish Feline in 12th, Karant in 13th, Static Pulse in 14th, DVS in 15th. We had Pizza. Oh, I love that name. Peteza. Pizza 34 in 16th. J-Man 1865 is still going along with Fry Teeth, Rob Draven, Jonathan Yoshi, Udalar, and Tom Strife. So we're winding our way down here.
And we're joined by our fourth runner, DVS GG. Congratulations on finishing. Feels like that was a tough one for you, but how are you feeling right now?
I feel horrible, honestly.
Yeah.
I feel pretty awful. So.
You definitely had the worst luck that we saw on stream. There were a lot of pretty nasty encounters in this one at low levels that I think took all runners by surprise, but it just seemed like every time we were looking over, it was just like, oh no, like, you know, I think maybe the single biggest instance of like unique bad luck was when you left the Earth Cave after a short grind and got caught by the unrunnable arachnids.
I had like 100 HP and I didn't have any melee, anything. Yeah,
it was just bad luck, you know.
It was.
You've clearly shown yourself as a very good runner, and this is unfortunately just not the seed for you.
It was 3 very, very painful minutes. And then, you know, it's one of those, like, I had 2 fiends left when Jat finished, and Jat's a fantastic runner. It was one of those, like, okay, here's where the numbers start pouring in, and the bad luck continued. So,
yeah, we were praising your decision to take those manticores super early. We were questioning it depending on how tough they were to get down, and then you got to level 11 really, really quickly at the beginning of the seed, and we're like, DVS has this. Like he's got a level advantage on everybody right now.
Or only true.
And then we went to some other people's streams because we're like, he's just gonna make it back to Melman, no problem. Came back and he's like, well, DVS is level 8 again.
Yeah. Well, it was like the arachnids was a tough first draw. Like I made the decision to go to Crescent Lake before Elfland just to pick up the extra incentive item and see what was there. I think I found Warp, which was like, okay, well now I can actually like consider doing Volcano and Ice, but like trying to dive. I even found those R-Dragon tiles, which were really easy, fast experience, but didn't have the money for houses. And then there was like a 10-minute thing where I just tried to run in and grab the house, and then like on my way out, I would get wiped, or I would just run into that nuke over and over and over and over. So yeah, it wasn't quite as, I mean, I don't want to say it wasn't quite as frustrating as the first track. Doing 20 dives of Topher and getting killed for really nothing I could do. But yeah, this one felt pretty bad. And you know what? Rando's got a rando sometimes, and I drew the short straw.
Yeah, and you've got a good attitude about it. You know, certainly I have. I know I rage sometimes too.
With that question, she might give you a different answer.
Yeah. But genuinely, it was a real pleasure for us to get to call all 4 of y'all runners. We saw different levels of experience, but across the board, an extremely high level of competition. And whatever the outcome, I think you should all genuinely feel very proud of the effort you put in tonight. These are some nasty flags, even though they don't look like it. They look like pretty simple flags, but they have the capacity to cook up some real gross stuff. And, we saw that with the new Gurogers, and those are dumb arachnids and all that stuff. But, from the solo takeout of Chaos to some quick recoveries, I think this was an extremely enjoyable race. And well done across all 4 nights. GG's to all of you.
Congrats to everybody else, too. I know the other 3 guys are really good runners, too, so GG's to you guys.
All right. Well, I think having said that, we are kind of winding down just a little bit. So would you guys like to leave us with any parting words of advice, perhaps, for budding ducklings who might be watching this and want to join, or perhaps any final words? How about DVS? We'll start with you.
Rando's got a rando, and don't break too many controllers.
True. Foolish Feline, any thoughts from you?
Well, what can I say? I've really enjoyed this derby. I'll probably be around for the next one. I'd really encourage anybody who enjoys watching the randomizer to give it a try yourself. It's a lot of fun.
Excellent. And last but not least, Dwight Desitel, any parting words of wisdom and encouragement for us?
Don't forget the ruby. No, I'm just kidding. Just go for it. I dipped in there. I was like level 20, I think, when I dove with Topher, and I just made it through anyway. So sometimes you don't make it, sometimes you do. Go for first or last. That's it.
Well, GG's again to all of you. It was a real pleasure. Gouda, any final thoughts from you?
Oh, of course. I've always got final thoughts, Groggy. As the commish of Iron Goal, I like to talk a lot. So I'm hoping to see all of these runners in the Iron Goal now that they have officially graduated from Duck School. And this is one of the fantastic things that we have here at Final Fantasy Randomizer. We have the Duck School. These ducks went through an 8-week boot camp, testing their skills on different, kind of more simplified flags than this. Our great big Papa Puffy Duck, Gregory Puff, is in charge of the ducklings. Ale Markin is the person who's been helping them out, and they put on a fantastic clinic for these ducks to learn this game, and it really shows with how this Duckling Derby has gone and how these runners just attacked this and went ham. And Dark Moon EX too. Thank you, Ale, for pointing that out. So, I mean, it's great seeing these ducks come out, but now they've graduated, it's time to come out and take on some of us vets. I've been here for a year, and I can call myself a vet. This is awkward. And of course with Groggy Dog, too. I mean, Groggy Dog's been here. He's a Duckling Supreme. He's a fantastic runner. Let's get out and keep racing, have a great time. But I'd like to thank Speed Gaming for putting up with us and throwing us up on some restreams multiple times. I know they've been fantastic with letting us get on the schedule and showcase off these runners. Thanks to all the runners for putting this on. There was 20-some ducks who came out and tried to get this title, and even though some of them were, way out of the running, they still came out and put on a great show anyways, even if they weren't being restreamed, so that was fantastic. Thanks, Groggy, for doing this with us. Thanks, Reese, for tracking. Thanks, Triton GL, for being our main guy here at Speed Gaming, setting this whole thing up. And keep randoing on and come join the Iron Goal. If you've been keeping tabs on chat, Will Bloodworth and Dwight are trying to get a hardcore rumble going on. Don't even know if we have flags for that right now, so gotta try and set some things up here. We've been slacking. So you can take us out, Groggy. That's all I got.
All right. Well, thank you all again. Just like Gouda said, congratulations as well to Sir Linkalot, the going to be challenging me for the title of Duck Supreme here, I have to imagine, in a week or two. Congratulations to everyone. This is a real treat. This is a wonderful community. If you're sitting on the outside and wondering how do I get in, please come join us. We would love to welcome you into the community, get you up to speed. But on behalf of all of us, all the runners on Speed Gaming, Have a wonderful night and a great rest of your weekend.